Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eleanor and this is my first video in a little while that doesn't feature my lovely fluffy cat Calcifer. At the start of July I had COVID and I'm still feeling kind of under the weather and I just want to get back into making videos. And even though I've not been reading much, so I'm coming back with a bullet journal video update. Even prior to catching COVID and being unwell, it has been a while since I've done a bullet journal update, and that's just because I fell off the wagon in terms of using it. I just found that the way I read it was just way more than I needed, and it's maybe something I can revisit. That makes no sense. Let me just show you. If you remember in my last bullet journal videos, this was kind of the layout that I was using, and I did really like it, and I do still really like it. It is a week spread at a time through Monday to the weekend, and then a space for like tasks and to-do lists and notes and anything in between. And I loved the washi tape, and I loved the use of the stamps that I have, and I really liked the aesthetic of it and how simple and clean it was. A lot of bullet journal content online is very aesthetically pleasing and very beautiful, which is fantastic, but I'm not artistic in that sense, so I was always felt a bit ashamed about the way my journals looked in comparison to people who are very good drawers or very good with their lettering and things like that. So this really worked for me, but when I've then been unwell or not as busy in other ways, I just found that I didn't reach towards filling it out because I didn't actually find it that useful, and it took so much time to write up, and I just found it quite inconvenient after a while. So what I've then done instead, and I can't show you the ones I've actively used because it would take me ages to kind of cover over all of my personal information, but I've been using this since July. So July and August and September have personal information in it, so I'm not going to show it, but I have then filled out October, November, December in the same style because I've worked out this is what works best for me. I do like the other way of laying it out, as I said, and maybe that's something I can revisit when I'm busier and when I'm more actively using my bullet journal, but at the moment I kind of need a more month at a glance, more diary style, something that is easier for me to fill in and I'm more likely to fill it in. And also what I was finding with the week at a time spread is I was constantly moving tasks from days to days. So I'd say, oh, I'm filming a video on Tuesday, and then I wouldn't have time, so I would move it to like the Thursday. So I'd be duplicating information all the time, constantly writing things up and moving things over, and I just found it was such a waste of time, and it looked awful, and I just was really hating it, and it meant I wasn't filling it out because I was like, oh, I'm not going to put that in until after I've done the task, because then it's in the day that I did it, and then it's more like a journal rather than an active, it's more like a reflective journal, or a diary rather than an active thing to use to keep track of my to-do lists. I'm waffling. So this is the new spread that I've fallen in love with and works amazingly for me. This might not be enough room for a lot of people, but for me this is like perfect. I've got enough room to write in appointments, things I'm doing, the days I've got off from work, the days I'm seeing friends, or I'm doing anything at all. And oops, I'm knocking on my pencils. Pens. Knocking on my pens, not pencils. And then on this right here for the whole month I have like a master to-do list. I have other notebooks, and day to day or at the weekend I do write like to-do lists in terms of like household things I need to do or bits and pieces like that, but this is more like an active to-do list. I don't know if I can show you. Yeah, I can't really show you any of the previous months. So I'm just writing out all the master to-do lists, you know, if I need to pay my car tax, if I need to book an appointment, if I need to film this bullet journal video, I'll fill it out here, and then I've done the little circular bullet points, and I'll just colour it in once I've done it. And then if I need to migrate a thing on this list that I didn't get done in October, moving it over into November doesn't look as bad in my opinion, and it makes more sense to kind of move things over month to month rather than day to day that I was doing before. I just found it really infuriating and a waste of time, and it looked awful. And yeah, I've kind of stuck, before I was changing colours and stuff, but my washi tape set that I have is all green, so I just thought I would stick to the green aesthetic because of the green washi tape, and I just really like it. It's really clean, really simple. This is definitely enough room for me for like week-long, month-long to-do lists. And then, as I say, I'm always got notebooks with, you know, to-do lists of like, I need to do the dishes, I need to put a washing on, I need to hoover. I find lists and checklists really motivating in terms of getting tasks done. But I don't need those kind of lists in my month-long journal, diary, bullet journal thing. Oh my goodness. You can very much tell I'm out of practice with making videos. I don't know what I'm saying, I don't have the words for things, and if you ever needed further proof that I definitely don't script and plan my videos, this is it here. So yeah, this is it. This is my new method, and I filled it out for the rest of the year because I have things coming up in the next 2 months that I want to write down, and I'm thinking this might be what I do going forward, but who knows, when I get closer to the end of the year and I'm starting to feel better, I might go back to the more involved style of bullet journaling. I still like to keep it simple, but I want to just keep my hand in and actively use it because I do enjoy it. But as soon as it becomes a chore for me, or something that is a pain to fill out and complete, I'm not inclined to do it. And then I end up with notes on my phone of when things are, and then I miss things, or I forget that I've got that event planned for such and such because I haven't written it down in my one place that I can see at a glance what's going on, because I don't check. Like my calendar phone, I'm just not digital based in terms of appointments and things like that. I'm always paper based, so I need to keep it something that I'll actively use. But this is something that's ever evolving and ever changing, and yeah, I'd love to hear in the comments how you organise your bullet journals. Do you like to keep it simple, or do you like really complicated and intricate things? And are you always motivated to use it even when you're maybe not feeling that well? Because I certainly don't, and that's why I've changed the style. And then I was really pleased that it took me about an hour to kind of fill out the rest of the year, and then that's me done. I don't have to come back to this to update it or redo it till the end of the year. That also means there probably won't be any more bullet journals videos for a while because this is me sorted for the end of the year. But I'll probably check back in a little while and let you know how this is continuing to go for me and what my plans are maybe for setup for the start of next year. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to show you for this. But I also wanted to take an opportunity to go over a lot of the things I use for my bullet journals, and now a lot of them are kind of redundant. I haven't been using them lately because I've kind of changed up how I'm doing it. But a lot of you expressed wanted to see all the things that I have for my bullet journaling, so I'll show you anyway. And even though I'm not currently actively using it, it's stuff I have used before and I probably will use again once I get back more into actively doing it. So maybe you can get some ideas. So to start off with, the dotted journal I use is the LeGuin notebooks. They're German. I just really like the quality of them, and when I bought this years ago, there wasn't that many dotted notebooks in this kind of size and style like there are now. Like there's hundreds and hundreds of different types. Like the bullet journaling craze really took off, and I like how the pages are numbered. Nowadays there's lots of different options for bullet journals with dotted lines, but this is just the one that I had, and it's had many different purposes. So I just ignore each section at the start that I don't use anymore. So yes. Next I'll go on to the pens I use. So the black pens I use are these Pigma Micron pens. I've had these for a couple of years now, and I just really love the writing quality of them. They've got a really nice nib, and this is the 08, and it's quite a thick one. So I have the 08, the 04 and the 02, and I just love the quality of the ink in these. And if I can find links to anything, I will leave them all in the description. But a lot of these things I did buy quite a while ago, or have been gifted to me. Don't know if you can hear my cat meowing. In the background, he's moaning today. The brush tip pens I have, I wouldn't say are fantastic quality, but they are just ones I got off of Amazon. I'll leave the link to them in the description if I can find them. And they're just these dual tipped ones, so you've got the brush nib on one side and then the fine nib on the other. And they have got really lovely colours. But yeah, they're just a cheap set from Amazon, so I wouldn't say they were particularly amazing, but they do the job and that's all I need them to do. The next thing I have is a set of 7 washi tapes from also Amazon. They were very cheap and I really like them. I could have got a mix of colours, but I just really love this set with the leaves and the green, and this kind of shade of green is my favourite colour. So I happily had that for my bullet journal, and I've used most of these a few times. I haven't really found a use for these really thick ones yet, even though they are very beautiful, just because they take up so much room, but I'm sure over time I will find a use for them. Next, I'll mention all of the stamps and ink pads I use. So this is just, again, just a really cheap black ink pad from Amazon. It does the job. I wouldn't say it was fantastic quality ink, but it does work. And here again, I bought a pack of different sized acrylic stampers. I don't really know what they're called. I haven't used this big long one yet. I haven't had a need to. I mostly just use this size and the little one. So these are for stamps that are clear that you peel off and you stick them. Let me show you. Yeah, so it's like a little gel. You peel it off, you stick it onto the stamp, and it's see-through, so you can still see the right orientation. Yeah, so that's just if you didn't know how those kind of stamps work. So next I'll go on to say what stamps I have. So a lot of these are this brand here, Dotterspoint. I'm not really sure where you can buy them. They're a UK based brand, and I don't know if you could maybe get them in Hobbycraft or things like that, or just online. But a lot of these, most of them actually, were just given to me by my mum. She either already had them and didn't use them until I would use them, or she bought them specifically for me once I started using them in my journaling. And a lot of them are really, really cute. These are all the wee chore ones, and different months and things like that. Some of them I haven't really used yet. Different book ones, but again, these are all the same kind of brand. We've got this one, and this one, and I like these ones. The book ones are very lovely, and this one, that's upside down, and this one. I also have this set here that my mum gave me, and it's just flowers and some frogs and things like that. It's not really got a brand on it. I think it's quite an old set my mum's had for a while, and she gave me that to use too. And I think that's a lot of what I use for this part of the bullet journals. I'll also mention in some of my previous bullet journal stuff, when I've talked about my reading journal, I do use different things for that, and I'll show you a couple of them now. I have a few stencils from Ink by Jen. I'll leave her Instagram handle and website linked below. I don't know if any of these are still available because my sister bought me these years ago, but I have this one which I really, really like. So it's made to the correct size of a dotted journal, so it just gives you different shapes so that you don't have to freehand it. So this is the circle I use for those bullet points, and then this is the most amazing thing. And it's like a row and column stencil. So yeah, I don't really need to explain that. And it gives you the numbers so you can count up. So it just means you can look at this at a glance and you can work everything out without having to constantly count the tiny little dots and lines, because sometimes that can make your eyes go square. And I'll also show you that I have from Ink by Jen are these washi tape lines. One is 0 to 31. And one is Monday through Sunday, just on column strips so that you can put them straight in your notebook and you don't have to constantly write the numbers for your bullet journal every single time. So I really, really like them and I find them very, very handy. Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to show you. If you've got any further questions, please leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. I just kind of dabble in bullet journals. There's so many people out there who do amazing content all the time for bullet journals, and I just like it to fit my purpose. So that's why I'll be forever changing up what I'm doing with it all the time. But yeah, if I ever do any further changes, I'll be sure to let you know. But thank you for watching this, probably a very long-winded video with just my hands. Yeah, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.